1, 2, 3. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed.
Mr. Quick, dead. Yes. Poor Mr. Quick.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here.
As Mr. Note.
Mr. Note. Because we're doing Dark City, baby.
Sleep now.
1998.
Yes.
I love this movie.
I sure do.
Doom Biz, quickly.
Do it quick before they fall asleep.
Oh, no. Instagram, Doom Generation Pod. That's where you find all of our sweet, sweet movie edits. Patreon.com/Doom Generation, $4 a month. You get all kinds of cool stuff and bonus audio. Twitter, Doom Gen Pod. But really the link tree on our Instagram is the links to all the things, all the merches and the things.
That's the place to be.
That's our main social media where you're going to get the most content. Mm-hmm. So give us a try there. And we want to say thank you to yet another new patron, Kyle.
Bing, bing, bing. Welcome.
What's
Kyle
up,
is
Kyle?
welcome.
Kyle has a podcast. It's called Recovery from Politics. Yes. So if you like to get mad about politics,
if you want to get mad,
you're like, all right, I listened to Doom Generation. I'm all cleared out. I cleared the palate. Now it's time to get angry about some modern fucking politics. Tune into Kyle's show.
Tune.
And let's get tuned in.
Tune it.
So the cast.
Right.
Rufus Sewell, who you said could have been. You said it could have been Johnny Depp. It could have been Tom Cruise.
They were saying for a second.
If Brandon Lee had lived, it could have been Brandon Lee because this is the director of The Crow.
And he apparently got the idea for this while they were moving sets around, and The Crow gave him the idea for a moving city.
Yep.
And also those sets went on to be used in The Matrix. I think we talked about that in the Matrix episode.
Oh, yeah, maybe we did.
I think so. But anyhow.
But he plays John Murdoch.
Right. We have Kiefer Sutherland as Dr. Daniel
Schreber.
Schreber.
Jennifer Connelly is Emma Murdoch.
Right. William Hurt is Inspector Frank Bumstead. He's such a Bumstead.
Totally. Richard O'Brien as Mr. Hand.
Ian Richardson as Mr. Book.
Bruce Spence as Mr. Wall.
Colin Friels as Walensky.
And then did you write the twins' names for Mr.
Satya and Noah Gumbert as the Mr. Sleep twins.
Which is the little kid one. So they were twins.
And this is also Melissa George's film debut as May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She looked familiar, but I forgot to write her name
I
down.
forgot that she was in this because it had been a while that I saw this movie, and I saw it when it came out. I went to see it in the theater. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I did as well, but I know I watched this 1,000 times on VHS because the boyfriend that lived with me at the time had a copy, and we watched the shit out of some Dark City.
I've watched the shit out of the Dark City.
But I had never seen the director's cut until now, and I'm telling you guys, it's not hugely different, but I feel like it's still superior. Like, it takes out all that narration by Kiefer Sutherland over the beginning part that like sets up the story, and it just lets it do its thing. It just, the movie is what it is, because I mean it is confusing, and it's supposed to be the first time you watch it. That's why you watch it again.
Oh, you know what? I must have saw the same one because I don't have anything.
You don't have anything about that. Okay, so you watched the same one?
Nope, just in space through the clouds into a dark city.
Yeah, there was no narration.
That's it. Yeah, that's all. Okay, so I must have saw the same one, but yeah, I don't remember that being hugely different.
Yeah, and it had been a while since I had watched it, but my husband watched it with me, and he was like, no, he said there's a lot of scenes that seem longer.
Yeah.
Like later, the Mr. Book fight, the mind fight that they have went on for like a long time, and there was a lot of stuff.
That did seem like it went on for kind of a long time. Like there was a lot of like mind blasting.
Yes. And they never stopped blasting.
Then they never stopped blasting. They did stop blasting.
So this edition just starts. We got the Starry Night. We drop into this city with the closest buildings together of any city that has ever existed.
It's just like narrow. It's a narrow city.
It is.
And this man stumbles down an alley,
checking his watch,
checking a pocket watch. Now we're going into this building. It's a motel.
Yeah, there's just like a circular porthole window, which was interesting.
Like everything just looks cool.
And why is his bathwater lavender?
I don't know.
Did you
Maybe
notice
he
that?
was taking himself
Taking a
out on
little
a
lavender
date.
bath.
Maybe he pooped in the tub. I don't know.
He poops purple.
I don't know. Maybe he was doing the thing. He was trying to raise Diana in the tub.
Oh, he was putting all the.
He got the sweat of 5 men's thighs.
Or maybe was it supposed to be pink because he was bloody from killing that girl?
Maybe.
But it looked lavender on my television.
He was having a milk bath.
It looked like a lavender milk bath to me. So John Murdoch, or we don't know who he is yet, but a man wakes up
luxuriating
in a bath. Wakes up with a start, like
there's an overhead light and it's swinging,
and we get nalgas right off.
He gets out of there. He gets out that tub, and we get that.
Rufus got them cakes.
Oh, I know. He
got a pretty nice. He got some nice buns.
Well, I mean, it was
muscular buns.
Muscular buns.
Unlike Berthold's muscular pussy.
It was like Berthold's muscular pussy, but
on the back. Like a bussy.
Rufus's muscular pussy.
So he gets up and looks at the mirror. He's got a drop of blood on his forehead.
Right.
There's some clothes sitting neatly folded on a chair.
Right. He dresses. He wanders out. He knocks the fishbowl off the table, and then he goes and oh shit, picks up the fish,
saves the fish, puts it in the tub,
puts it in the water, and sees that there's like a massive syringe.
I don't think he even noticed the massive syringe. It's just there. Yeah, I don't think he sees it.
Maybe he doesn't see it.
And so he goes and gets dressed, and he has no memory of who he is. So I'm not sure exactly. He doesn't even see the body yet, right?
No, he hasn't seen any of that yet, but he's looking at the shoes, and if you notice, they're brand new. Like, they're not worn on the bottom. And there's the suitcase with the initials KH. There's shirts and shit inside. There's a postcard.
From Shell Beach.
Ooh, remember that shit if you can. Sleep.
He has a hazy memory of a child on a beach.
Mm-hmm. The phone starts ringing.
And then
phone's ringing.
And I don't know what this character was that Kiefer's doing
I
here.
know.
But he gets the heavy breathing Dr. Schreber on the phone.
Right. It's like a weird Peter Lorre thing that he's doing with this.
And did you see the thing about him that when he got the script, he thought it was meant for his dad?
Oh, really?
Because he was like, this seems like an old man character. Like,
kind of thing. You wanted my dad.
Well, and then I was confused because the thing I read said that when he got the script, he thought it was meant for his dad, but that also the director was not sold on him. So who sent him the goddamn script?
Ooh, it's a mystery.
That's the casting director, I guess. Thought
if it would have been his dad, he would have had orange juice mouth instead of that.
But yeah, so you are confused. You're frightened. Remember, it's all right.
White.
I can help you.
It was an experiment. Experiment.
So he gets this breathy message about he must leave now.
There's people. They're coming. I guess this is also kind of Matrixy too, where he gets the phone call and he's like, "There's people coming. You should probably go."
So yes, apparently it has been known that there are some parallels here.
It has been known,
and people have said that Matrix ripped off some shit from this movie. And while I agree that there are some parallels, I think. It was in the fucking ether at this time. These types of things
in the late 90s.
So much was about this sci-fi dystopian,
and everything sounded like the dial-up noise.
So he sees the dead body. Finally, there's a woman with blood spirals cut into her body.
Oh yeah, like fuck, shit.
Now he's like, gotta go.
Yeah, he picks up the bloody knife. Sir.
What are you doing?
I know your memory's been wiped, but surely you know better.
You have some common sense left, right?
The elevator comes up as he's trying to leave, and these silhouettes down
these
the hall.
spooky fuckers.
I remember seeing that like in the commercials when they had like the things on TV or whatever, like, oh, come see this movie. It's called Dark City, and they would show the weird little strangers. I was like, oh, that shit looks creepy as fuck. I want to see that.
One of my favorite villains in the Buffy the Vampire series was this. They were called the Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
And they were very similar to the strangers, but they had like all silver teeth.
Yeah, I've seen
and
pictures
I think that they might have also did a
Oh,
like a
God, I
teeth
hate
chattering
that
thing.
fucking teeth thing. That you did
But I
that really
loved them.
good in
They
my
were so
ear.
creepy. But yes, these creepy fuckers come down the
Oh,
hall.
with the hats and they got the shing shing little daggers.
Sleep, and they make everybody
Right,
pass
like,
out in this
sleep,
hotel.
You can sleep. They're putting everybody down and like it's all spooky. And what is it?
Oh, he runs downstairs, and the hotel manager is like,
Oh,
tells
right.
him he left his wallet at the automat.
Yes, he wakes up and tells them that his wallet's down there, and he knows now that his name's Mr. Murdoch. 'Cause he knows he's talking to him.
Right.
And that he's been there for 3 weeks, and he shows him the ledger, and it says J. Murdoch.
Yeah, so he doesn't know his first name. He just knows it's J.
Right.
Something that starts with J.
He takes the suitcase, throws it in the water because he doesn't know what the fuck. He just found a body. I don't know whose suitcase this is. And now he knows he's not KH.
Right. So he doesn't. Yeah.
I don't know what this
And so he chucks the suitcase in the river on his way out. And he's just
Right.
like, this isn't mine. And so the manager goes up to the room to be like, oh, well, I'm going to take all your shit then because you didn't pay me my money.
Like
Which
he just goes.
he said he prepaid up until right before he walked out.
know.
So he don't owe you shit.
Cash on the burl.
And like, he don't owe you shit. He walked out with his suitcase.
I
It's
know.
the end of his transaction, sir.
Right?
I didn't get that part. Like, if he comes back, he owes you money. If he wants to stay longer.
I guess that's why he went up there because he was like, well, he's leaving with his suitcase. So
It's just, checking the room.
Maybe
But what
that's
does
what
he
he was doing.
find?
oh shit.
The strangers.
Yep. And he says, sleep now. Mm-hmm. And then he passes right out.
And then Mr. Hand finds that big old needle.
Yes, he's like, oh,
This
whoops.
means,
This
something
is
happened.
this is a problem right here.
And they go down and ask the manager, where's Murdoch? And they're like, he just left. You missed him.
You missed him.
And then they sleep now,
Right,
and he goes
yeah.
back to sleep again.
And then now we're in a nightclub.
And Jennifer Connelly is awkwardly singing.
That's not her.
Oh,
That's
no,
not even her.
this one. Oh, that's not her singing?
No,
Or you
it's
mean
not
that
her
wasn't
singing.
I kind of almost thought maybe it was. I didn't
I know.
even
I
look
thought
it up, but I
was too.
thought
I
it might have
never-
been.
It never occurred to me that she wouldn't have done it, especially now that
'Cause-
you've mentioned your theory.
Yeah.
Or if it's
Because it's not like, no offense, it's not like the singing was so incredible that I
right
didn't
that I
believe
would
it
have
was
been like,
Jennifer
oh, holy
Connelly.
shit, that can't possibly.
Like, it
be
was
her.
good,
Like,
but it
I didn't
wasn't
know,
like-
Jennifer Connelly was a
It
singer.
was an opera. You know what I mean?
No,
I
mean
think
it was
she could have done it.
fine.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I figured she could have done at least that, right? But yeah, no, I guess it wasn't even her.
And so she gets a message from her husband's doctor, Dr.
Right.
Schreber.
Who left his card? Like, come see me. It's important that I talk. Like, that's weird.
And so she goes to see him, and he's in front of this big rat maze.
You couldn't.
What kind of
pause
doctor
for
are
a
you, sir?
moment? What's up?
In the
Oh, it
director's
is
cut,
her
it is her
voice?
voice?
Oh,
Okay,
so
so the
maybe that's
version I
why.
heard was her singing.
Okay.
Kelsey is who was in the original cut.
Mia Kelsey, you said? Anita Kelsey was the original singer.
It says it uses Connelly's vocals in both the film and the end credits.
Okay, so they do
Oh,
use
okay.
so the one I saw for sure had
Okay,
Jennifer
then that
Connelly
must have
singing.
been.
And
that must
I
have
didn't
been
really
her.
notice the difference, but I again haven't seen the original one in a long
That's also
time.
true.
So
Because
anyway,
the one that I own is like the special
Is this-
edition director's cut, whatever. But that I just rented it because it's always such a pain in the ass for me to watch DVDs in my house.
yeah.
So
Well, I think this is the preferred. I know obviously the director prefers because
Well,
all the shit they put in for theatrical is like the company wanted. You know what I mean? It's one of those like nobody wanted
Right.
to do this, but they made us do
director's
this.
vision.
Yes, this is his vision. So she goes in and like, what kind of doctor is
I
this
know,
with the
with
rat
this-
maze?
I would be like
That
immediately.
you're my husband's
my
doctor.
husband's doctor, and you're doing rat mazes.
What kind of doctor are you? Does she never even ask him what kind of doctor
what kind
are you?
of fuckery is this?
And
What's
he's
up,
a
doc?
psychiatrist. He tells her, he doesn't say that, but he says he's been
He
coming
tries
to me
to.
for feelings of betrayal after your marital
Oh,
difficulties.
she's like, you heard about that?
But like, he comes to a
I'm
guy
his
with a
doc-
rat maze. Marriage counseling.
Maybe she's like, wow, he's really a mess.
It's a good thing her brain is scrambled because she just
I
woke
know.
up with this
Well,
fucking
she's-
personality.
she's really
Because
struggling.
otherwise she'd be like, what the fuck?
She's like, I solved the fucking labyrinth for this.
And then there's a labyrinth.
She's
Damn,
got
I didn't
in
even
there
think about it.
again.
Wow.
She was trying to tell the rat. She was like, don't go that way.
No. So she tells him she hasn't seen her husband for 3 weeks. And he tells her husband has suffered a psychotic break and memory loss and that he may be delusional and violent.
Right.
If he
She was like,
contacts you, got to
well,
call right away.
He left angry, you know.
And now this part, it took me a while to figure out like there was forever watching this movie. I thought Dr. Schreber was like playing both sides of the like that he because I was like, why is he telling her he's crazy when he knows he's not? But it's because he has a little bit of that serial killer shit in him. So there is a chance because that's what he's supposed to do is kill her. That's what's in his thing to do. And so I think maybe he is legitimately worried that like, hey, if he calls you, maybe just let me know because he doesn't know how much of that new memory he got in there. So it does make sense. But it took me forever watching it to go, why does he keep telling her he's crazy and a killer and to stay away from him? Right. But that's why. Because I think there was a chance maybe he was.
Maybe a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't know. That never really made a whole lot of sense.
So anyway, John's walking around trying to figure out what is his name.
Right. He goes like Justin, James, Jack. He says John.
I think he says John, yeah.
It doesn't strike him. All of these things, and he can't figure out what none of them sound right to him. So now we see
the cops are at the hotel with this body, the dead call girl.
Right. It's another one.
And the programmed puns in Inspector Bumstead. Looks like somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Sir. And like this accordion playing.
The accordion. Like,
and I mean like
his stuff stood out as the weirdest. Yeah, that's going to be hard for me too. William Hurt. But yeah, his character was the strangest in a way because like he was this serious, stern kind of detective. Right. But then he said all these puns and he plays the accordion and you're like,
right. Well, like that kind of personality of his almost kind of starts to unravel a little bit as he's confronted with the like, well, maybe I don't know what any of this is. When he talks about the accordion later, I remember this, but I don't remember when I got it.
And like you carry it in your car. That's
right. That seems like a lot to lug around. You just never know when he needs to break out into a polka.
Yeah. You just, hey, if you're Weird Al and this guy,
if you're Weird
those are the only two people.
And Inspector Frank Bumstead.
Those are the two people that have to have the accordion at all times.
Beautiful carved pearl.
I know. It's I've never seen such a beautiful accordion.
I've never seen many accordions. If
I knew somebody in elementary school who played the accordion, so I've seen a few.
I know somebody that plays the accordion.
But you don't check out them accordions, girl.
Well, like not. I haven't seen many. Like I said, I know one person.
I've seen
in real life
accordion,
maybe a concertina, a squeeze box or two. Mama played the squeeze box.
So John heads down to the automat where he left his wallet, which is a vending station, little building full of sandwiches.
Is a weird, like they
sandwich
got like
wall.
A sad apple and a sad carrot and a sad.
And they just stick his wallet in there, but then like he has to pay to get it out.
Right, like his wallet's in there.
That's his wallet. He doesn't have any money, dumbass.
Doesn't have any money in
the wallet,
the vending machine.
And so the cops come in and he's panicking to get the wallet out. Like I got to get out of here.
Yeah. So he thinks real hard and boop.
Yep. All of a sudden, mind powers.
See.
Bursts it out, gets his wallet. He's trying to rush out and they stop him.
Oh, these fucking cops.
You know how we feel.
You know how we feel about it. So anyway, they harass him.
And May comes in from outside.
She's like, don't you have anything better to do? There's a killer out there. Like, yeah.
You're standing with him.
We know. He's right there. Dare to killer bee.
And then she takes him right to her
She's
room.
Like, come with me. They didn't even agree. He
didn't agree anything. To this. He didn't. Yeah, there was no transaction
I don't
discussed.
remember there being a conversation that he was coming up for that.
Maybe in the memories that he doesn't have. Well, no, but she didn't know him. She didn't. Act like
she asked his name. She didn't know him beforehand. She was just being friendly because she's working.
Yeah. All right.
Anyhow.
So Bumstead's back staring at the body still.
Right.
Talking about this is the 6th body.
He goes up to room 614. He talks about how Walensky's got the heebie-jeebies or whatever because he was the one working on the case.
Oh, but first, before Walensky comes in, the goldfish. So he sees the goldfish and is like, well, tell me this. What kind of killer stops
in the
middle of killing someone to save a dying fish?
See the dead woman on the bed with the spirals and the torso or whatever. And then, he goes in and sees the fish. He's like, why would
you do that? Like, you're in the middle of this. You broke a fishbowl and you stopped to save the fish after you massacred this woman.
Right.
Okay.
And now another cop comes in talking about, like, we've wasted a bunch of time because of Walensky.
And speak of Walensky.
Here he comes screaming like, they're watching us. Can't you see?
And yeah, you don't really know what is he yammering about.
He's just screaming about some shit, and they're like, we need to stop him with like. So now it's clear that Bumstead's like inherited this case.
Yes, he's going to replace Walensky.
Right,
He's lost his
he's-
marbles.
Lost me marbles.
And he goes into his office to see he has scribbled on all these papers. They're tacked up all over the walls.
It is a Charlie Day mess.
It sure is. And the fingerprint results are back. And he's like, is this some kind of joke? Because the fingerprint is like an actual
It's like a spiral. Well, then he also finds the mouse traps.
Oh, yeah. He's
notes.
like, oh, yeah.
He's like, okay.
He's a little paranoid.
So yeah, that's what he says, the spiral. And I guess it's because it's the spirals.
So that must be part of his evolution.
It must be, because they mention it too, like the
spiral.
strangers
Yeah.
are looking at his hands and whatever. Anyhow,
That's why he's in tune with
he's
everything.
in tune.
So Emma shows up to file a missing persons report,
Right,
and they
he's
send
like,
her to
"Go
Bumstead.
Go back to the front
Yeah,
desk.
he's like,
She's
I don't do that.
No, they told me to come see you because my husband is John Murdoch.
And he's like,
Oh, skirt.
let me have a conversation with you.
Allow me to ask you a few questions.
Let me go Columbo on your ass.
So you'd say, I can't do Columbo.
And so she's like, he goes, why didn't you report this before? Well, she thought he just left
Right.
because she cheated on him. So she
Yeah.
wasn't really thinking he was missing.
She just thought that he left because he was mad. And then he mentions, like, how long have you been married? She's like, almost 4 years. He's like, you seem really uncomfortable.
Yeah,
with
she's
your
like
ring.
playing with her ring the whole time, like spinning it, kind of pulling at it, whatever.
Right. And she's like, I never take it off. And he's like, oh, okay. That was a
Seems
weird
weird.
thing for him to notice. Because he also notices the cop. He's like, your shoe's untied. Like,
Yeah,
nothing
there's a
escapes
weird
his
thing
eye.
with the shoes untied too, where I'm not sure what the
Like, it's just because he notices everything. And then later on, when he starts to realize
That
that
his shoes
cop-
are
his shoe is
untied, yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's symbolism.
I'm not good at that.
Symbols.
You gotta be real blunt with me.
Subtext. You just gotta hit you in the
You
face
got-
with
yep.
it. It's like Nicole.
like on whatchamacallit. What was the one we just did with Dustin?
Whatchamacallit?
Mother May I Sleep with
Oh,
Me?
yes.
You gotta hit me with the toilet lid.
I gotta beat you
You gotta
over the
beat me
head
in the
with
face with a cutting
charcuterie
board.
Yes.
I do not understand the symbolism.
A solid hickory charcuterie board.
Mm-hmm.
Salt lick.
And he shows her this list of all these women's names, and she's like, I don't know who any of these people are. Did my husband, is he suspected of killing one of them? And he's
She's like, "Pfft, all of them, girl.
girl,
Right.
he a damn serial killer.
He could be. And he was like, I'm sorry. She gets up like, I shouldn't have come here. He's like, oh, I was just playing.
I'm just playing.
Come on, hold on,
I'm
hold on,
not
hold on,
accusing
hold
him
on.
of multiple
No,
murder. We're good. Cool. So then John's with May, and she gets naked.
She's going to slip into something a little more comfortable.
with a killer on the loose. She invited the damn killer
Why
up in
don't
her
you
house.
Come on up and fuck me in the ass.
Yes, because you don't look like a killer.
Right? You don't seem like the type. Like, how would you know? You got your kid in there?
Little girl peeking out.
I
Come
know.
on now, ma'am.
Well, before the little girl peeks out, she asked him, like, what's his name? He's like, oh, but Wallet.
John. My name's
John.
John. Oh, isn't that?
That's
What-
appropriate.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
You know, whatever. And he's, don't you think it's dangerous what you do? Like, how do you know I'm not the killer? And she's
You
like,
don't
you don't
seem like the killer type.
And then that's when the kid pokes her head in, and he's like, oh,
I gotta go.
This just got weird. I'm out of here.
He's out here. And she's all, oh, shoot.
Right?
Really?
She probably beat that kid. She's like, get the fuck back in there every time you come in here. You
I
fucking
know.
ruin
You're
my
always
shit.
scaring my damn Johns away.
We're
And
not going to eat tonight.
I did read something also that they left a lot of, like, where there's different eras of things happening because they didn't want the time frame to be
Yeah.
specific. So, like, it seems like the 20s or the 50s or the 80s. Like, you're really not sure based on everything
I did
that's
see
happening.
that.
Yeah.
I did see that they were like, they
It
had
works
gotten
well.
a little too heavy into the 40s, I guess, at one point. They're like,
Oh.
oh, we got to throw some other shit in here because now it's just a period piece.
So John's out there with his Shell Beach postcard looking up at this billboard for Shell Beach.
He makes his way up to
Which,
it.
did he think he was going to find the beach on the billboard?
I don't know. Maybe he could see it from there. I'm not sure.
He's like, maybe that's what it was.
He's like,
let me
"That's
get to
it.
higher ground.
I gotta see.
She's pointing.
Ahoy!
She's doing an ahoy thing, whatever. Maybe her arm points to the beach.
She's doing an ahoy thing.
Or what-
That's what
That's what this is. Waving's called an ahoy thing, right? She's like,
Yeah.
Waving
yeah.
ahoy.
Yeah, it's ahoy hoy.
And all those killer newspaper clippings, those were what, in his coat or something?
He pulls out a bunch of fucking newspaper clippings from his jacket, I guess.
And like you carry those around on you while you're killing people?
Yes.
These strangers are obviously not good at
they're not.
at
They
building
don't
personalities.
understand. Well, because they don't. That's why everyone's all weirded out and weird.
Yes.
That's why Bumstead plays a weird accordion.
Because they're still
They're like, what is this thing? I want to see somebody do it. I'm going to make this
Right?
an important thing.
I found this in someone's memory.
This
Please.
is a snarf blast.
I want to see what this is. So the strangers come at him up on the billboard. So he's up on the billboard panicking about being the killer when the strangers appear.
Right.
And they tell him to sleep, and they don't work.
Oh, yep. He says, it seems you have discovered your unpleasant nature. But yeah, and that's what he says, sleep. It doesn't work. So they pull out that shing, shing.
That makes that sound. They're little daggers. Shing, shing.
I know. And then now they discover that he can cue.
Hey, guess what letter that is? You'll never know.
He can pew.
So you may notice when you watch this film that every time somebody says tune,
It took me years.
to hear the word
What the
tune
fuck are they
because they
saying?
pronounce it so weird.
Well, that I thought it could be a made up word.
can
Like, why
pew.
not? He can pew.
It's just a sound.
He can
He can tune. And so they realize he can move shit with his mind. He can make things different with his mind. Like The Matrix, only it's not a computer game. It's or not game, but whatever.
The Matrix.
It's not The Matrix, but yes, he can change things with his mind.
Yes.
So he puts a hole in the floorboards. They fall through, or one falls through and gets like hung on the ropes.
Yep.
John falls, grabs the ropes, and pulls the fucking arm
with the
on the billboard
gears.
to chop off the back of Mr. Quick's
Billy
head.
Miles, karate chop.
And then it's time for jellyfish and jellyfish and jellyfish. Fucking tendrils.
It
That
comes out it's like
sound.
the faculty.
Oh yeah, the faculty. And this is where you realize these men are
It's got a fluke mouth.
more. Yes, they are more
Butthole.
than not human. They are some sort of little jellyfish piloting dead bodies.
Yes.
which they will tell you later, just to confirm.
Right, they'll let you know.
They'll
he's
let you
gonna
know.
he's gonna set it all up and knock it down for you later.
Because he basically kills all of them if they were human, but only Mr. Quick dies because his jellyfish died. Because like he fucks the rest of them up. He hangs one. He does, and they're all there later.
Well,
That one got hung, and then I want to say,
oh yeah, I guess so, because one gets squished between buildings, but he gets like,
but he got
his little-
squirted out.
yeah.
Yeah. He got his jellyfish got squirted out.
That's not bug, it's squirt.
Oh, that was my brains. So yes, and then you go back to their lair, the stranger's lair.
Ah, yes.
And there's this big metal face, and it's all fucking cool looking. But it gives me cone heads.
yes,
The cone heads when they're in their home planet, and they're in that like court or whatever where they're all stacked up. It's that same shit.
we come from France.
Yes, only they don't come from France. We don't know where they come
We don't
from.
know where they come from. They don't say.
And they're
They might.
discussing this man, John Murdoch, who can tune.
He can tune.
And everyone but Mr. Quick is down there because they're like,
Right,
what
like,
happened to Mr.
Oh,
Quick?
no more Mr. Quick.
I can't even make that
Does
sound.
Mr. Book know? Like, yes, of course he knows. Everybody knows because everybody has a shared mind.
And then you find out, well, you kind of already knew the doctor worked for them, but
Right.
they're like, oh, the doctor's not
he's-
reporting back in. So
He's somewhere else. Mr. Quick dead. So now Mr. Book is like, oi, Mr. Knight.
oi,
You go
and, like, a
east,
ska
Mr.
song
Face.
starts, and then it's like a totally different
Right.
movie.
Mr. Face goes west, Mr. Glove goes south, Mr. Shade goes north, and he puts him on the job of finding the man. We must possess him if we are to know anything.
So
That's
they
not his
head
voice.
out
That's just
to find John.
right.
In the
And
meantime,
Bumstead drives.
Bumstead's bringing Emma home.
Right.
And she's asking if her husband could really have committed those murders.
Right. He's like, well, I hope I'm wrong, but
And neither one can really see. He's like, well, do you think so? And she doesn't answer. And
right,
then-
like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing is weird.
And she goes home and takes a shower and finds him John waiting for her.
Right. And she's like, are you punishing me?
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. He's like, I found these keys. I assume I live here. Like, what are you supposed to be, my wife?
And if you've never seen this movie before, if this is a first time watch, this is, I think, only where you realize he doesn't remember anything.
He really doesn't remember.
Like, as far as you know, he's a serial killer who's just running from being, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing you don't know is he didn't know his first name.
Right.
But you don't know if that's like,
but he
really
fully
doesn't remember his life.
Right.
Or does he?
Or does he? I don't
was
know.
there a
Or
life?
what is there a life? What does he remember?
So yeah, he just found those keys. He assumes he lives there. And are you supposed to be my wife?
He's like, what's that supposed to mean? He's like, well, no, I mean, you know, like.
But literally, are you supposed to be my wife?
Right. He's got like one eye on her. The
All
other
the
eye.
time.
Other eye on something else.
On something else. Don't tell me you can't have a lazy eye and be attractive, because Rufus Sewell is still an attractive man. So y'all don't let it get you down if you got that lazy eye.
If you look like Rufus Sewell,
I got one sleepy eye.
I got one that goes a little.
Yeah, I don't have one that goes another direction, but I got one eyelid that won't open as much as the other, so it always looks like I'm kind of winking at you.
I don't know if you could call the eye lazy, but it's easily distracted.
Mine's just tired. It's tired. This was just the one wants to close a little bit more than the other.
Always looks like a
It's from in high school when you sleep in class, but you didn't want to get caught.
Oh, right.
And I trained one eye to stay open.
The only skill you've retained from high school.
And I can answer questions in my sleep if you say my name. If you say Nicole and my head is down on a desk,
oh my God.
I'll be like, what? Even if I'm dead
I'm
asleep.
just going to hang around here until you fall asleep and
just find out.
That's
like, Nicole. And I'll be like, yes. And I'll have no
what
recollection
is the
of it the
square
next
root
day.
of 37?
I'm just not going to know the answer to that.
Or will you?
Oh, maybe in my sleep.
It can if you can mune.
If you can zoom. So she gives him the doctor's card, tells him this dude's looking for you, explains I had an affair, you were angry at me, the police are looking for you.
He's like, yeah, I saw that. Those like killer stalks the street. I saw those headlines. They were all in my pocket. It was a little weird.
And why he tells her this thinking she's a stranger. I met a call girl tonight.
Right.
And I went with her to test myself to see if I could really do all those things. But I didn't kill her.
Right. And she's like, oh, I know.
I believe you.
Yeah, it's cool.
And then he looks outside and sees what's that car? That car you came in.
She's like,
oh, that's just
that
the
was just
inspector.
the cop that dropped it. What?
You just said the cops think he's a goddamn killer.
I
Why
know.
are you not
the
concerned?
cop, the one that just dropped me off, are looking for you.
Yeah. The one
on.
that's still parked out there?
Yes, he's
looking
right
for you.
outside. He's probably in here now. And
there he is. There the inspector
There to
be.
Bumstead be.
And she blocks him. She's like, no.
Right.
She saves him.
No, run.
And he tells Bumstead that a group of men is after him.
Right. He tells him about, the dudes. And that's when he's like, why would you believe me, though?
And then he just starts jumping fucking floors full of stairs.
God, they descend this fantastic staircase.
And he uses his, I put ruining. He uses his ruining to make a door.
He did a little noon.
He did a noon and built a door. Draw a door, but with your mind.
But with your mind. Knock 3 times. With your mind.
And Bumstead loses him, but he finds the drop doctor's card.
Oh, shit. Now I'm going over there.
And before we get into the next part, we're already at 32 minutes.
Holy shit.
We love this movie so much. This is, okay, let me give you a little behind the scenes. Normally when we watch movies, number one, we don't watch together, but it doesn't matter because we both take about 15 breaks in a 2-hour film to go do other things. But this movie... I watched this. I watched it all the way through. Man, I couldn't get up.
If it didn't get too late to finish it.
Yeah.
I would have finished it. Because
This was one I
like,
didn't take no smoke breaks,
I'm
nothing.
into
I was
I'm
like
good to go.
I was into
But it was getting too late.
Well,
So.
before we get into the rest of it,
Before it gets too late,
take a quick break.
do it.
Be right back. All right, one thing you guys may not know about Doom Generation Podcast is we are some cheapskates.
Dude, we do not like to spend the coin at all.
So when we were about to do this podcast, we did some major searching into what is the cheapest way
We did more research into how to do this than
that
we
do
into
for the
our
podcast. And let me tell you what, this Anchor is like the only free platform that distributes your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole bunch of other places.
You can do all kinds of stuff when you're doing it too. You can record your sound effects, you can manage your episodes, and you can track your little analytics.
Yep, you can see where everybody's listening from, how often they're listening.
From your phone, from
Yep.
your computer.
You
Like
could
we
record
probably
from your
still
phone.
would not have had any episodes out.
If it were not for Anchor,
if
this
it were not for
podcast
Anchor,
would
we
not be in your
we
ear
would
holes
still-
right now.
No, it would not. We would still be just recording it for ourselves.
Yep, listening back to ourselves in the
Laughing at our
garage.
own jokes.
So if you would like to have a podcast, but you don't know if you want to spend any money, you need to go get this Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started now.
And we now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
We're back.
And we're in a speeding cab.
I know the ghost of Christmas Past has picked up John in his speeding cab.
Niagara Falls, Frankie.
But he doesn't want to go to Niagara Falls.
No,
he wants to go to Shell Beach.
He notices the snow globe on the dash, and he's like, "You know the way?" He's like, "Yeah, me and the missus spent the honeymoon there."
Oh, but I don't remember how to get
But
there.
I can't quite remember. He can't
That's
remember how to
weird.
get there after all.
And so then we got Bumstead is meeting with Dr. Schreber.
He's late for an appointment, so I don't have time to talk to you, but I can head shrink you right now.
Yes. And he tells him that Murdoch doesn't strike him as a killer. And he
Right.
tells him, I can tell when someone's lying to me. And that's
Yeah.
when he head shrinks him.
Right. He's like, well, actually,
Your life is rather lonely.
I am the one.
He should know about
Number one
lonely
guy.
lives. Oh,
He got them grissom breasts.
he sure do. I didn't even think about it. He got them
I
gruesome
just
breasts.
did.
And John has arrived and sees Bumstead leaving and follows Schreber
Right.
to this like public bathhouse.
Pool.
But he goes in his chonies, his full length torso covering chonies into the water.
Yeah, right. His button down
Yeah.
vestments.
Maybe that's how you wash your underclothes. You just go in and
Well, I don't know. This is a weird place.
it is. And Mr. Hand comes in to find him
They're mad at him.
for being in there because they don't like moisture.
They have an aversion to all this moisture.
And they want to know why he failed to report in. They found this needle
Right.
that you
He was like,
dropped.
he woke up during the imprinting and now he only has memory fragments. And he was like, but John, can you?
And Murdoch hears all of this, and he hears them saying he's going to get imprinted again.
Right.
And he finds the case full of needles, and he grabs one. And Hand's like, we'll talk again after tonight's pruning. Mr. Hand leaves and moves the ladder. What a fucking...
Right?
Like, he's so
Dick.
childish.
You are childish, sir.
For someone who was never a child, you are childish, Mr.
Right.
Hand.
I know. Like, he doesn't even have human emotions.
And he's pranking people over here.
Right? Who does he think he is? Well, he was the one that wanted to know what it felt like to feel.
He does it's so riffraff. This
I know.
character, the
I
voice.
think that's just because when I was watching the interview with him, that's pretty much what he sounds like.
That's just how he is.
Yeah.
He gets hired for those roles because that's just him.
Right.
So Bumstead goes to see his old pal Walensky.
Yep.
His
John
wife
spirals
lets him
all
in,
over
yeah.
the fucking place. She's crying.
Oh.
Ooh, squish, squish, squish.
And he asks him what happened. Nothing happened. I've just been riding in circles, thinking in circles.
You know, whatever.
no way
Everything is
out.
circles. There's no way out of here.
And he's like, that's not my wife. I don't know who she is.
None of this is real. We're all dreaming. Did he sound like that?
Kinda. It's like Kim's parallel to she says this movie makes her think of Roger Rabbit
Right.
because of the doctor's got big judge vibes. We've got Jessica Rabbit in the lounge singer Emma. But here's another one. We got him doing his best. His best. Eddie Valiant. Gotta get out of here. She's not my wife. I don't know who she is.
Eddie Valiant.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's how he talks.
know.
But I know he had like a Brooklyn
I don't
kind
know
of a
who
thing
the fuck
happening.
would do it. I don't know what this is.
It was all just a big joke.
Everything. Yeah.
Nothing happened.
Did you see something, Eddie? Something related to the case? Like, there was no case. There never was. It's all a big deal. I don't know.
And then he got a little Christopher Walken.
There never was a case.
And we see Schreber hobbling down an alley. John's following him because,
Hobbling and heavy
you
breathing.
never find out what's wrong with his face or his leg.
Nope, he's got
a weak heart. And I guess that makes
And
your
a
eye wonky and your leg wonky.
He can't even breathe out of his eye.
He can't breathe out of his eye. That's why
He can't breathe with his eye like that.
Deviated eye symptom.
He's got a deviated eye.
It makes it hard to breathe. And he sees Murdoch sees a door appear in a wall, and he
Right.
goes in, and the door disappears.
Yeah.
And Schreber gets in this like egg mine cart. I don't know what the fuck.
The fucking egg mine.
It's like he gets in a little mine cart.
Wow. I know. They at least made it fun.
Right? Interesting. Because I don't. Huh? Those were puppets.
Oh, that they had to go. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Like little
Okay.
miniature. That's cool.
And the strangers are going through all the humans' personal effects, like an assembly line
Right.
of, I don't even
They're
know.
like manufacturing and farming memories. Like
Yeah.
that's what it seems like they're doing. They're like putting things together, like the things that go into people's homes.
Yes.
Like
they're
all the
sorting
little
them all out.
tchotchkes.
It seems so weird to me that they can that they can fune.
Do you mean you?
Yes. But that they have to manually dress and place. You know what I mean? Like you can move buildings with your mind.
Oh,
you can.
yeah.
But why are you physically going in and like dressing people? Because they show them doing
they
that.
like to.
Ooh. So
I
the
can't
doctor's building memories, and he's like sniffing them.
I know. What are you smelling memories for? Oh, yeah. He's like, this one's.
A touch of unhappy childhood, a dash of teenage rebellion.
It just looked like he was sniffing it. He's just heavy breathing. Actually, he seems like he's in his bag right now. He's like,
Oh yeah, he's into it.
I am the memory master.
He
I am
is.
making memories.
She wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? There it went.
There it went.
You just heard it.
I
You
wrote it
didn't
for
get a
you.
say in it. We didn't wait for the answer. You
No.
heard the song. That's how
Yeah,
it went.
that's it.
So
You
yeah,
got it.
he's sniffing out all these
He's
memories,
sniffing up all these.
and Mr. Book comes for him.
Right. Mr. Book comes.
He strings him up
Right,
well
he's
with his
like, "Ah,
mind,
da, 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 da,"
Yeah.
with his- he's
holding
like,
him upside down, questioning him about John.
right.
And he's like, I don't know, maybe
don't
he
know.
evolved.
Maybe what you're looking for. Maybe he's what you're looking for in your search for the human soul.
So this is where we discover this is what the strangers are looking
right.
for.
They're trying to learn about what makes us us.
Yes. And so maybe you found what you're looking for, and it's going to bite you in the... and he drops him.
It's time to loon.
And Mr. Book does not believe a simple human could develop the ability to cue. To be...
This shit is stupid.
There's going to be like 20 minutes of just us saying tune in different fucking ways.
We only got 26 letters.
And we
I
didn't
don't
go in
know.
order, so I don't know
even
which
know.
ones we
3 of them
used
sound
already.
the same.
Anyway, the clock strikes midnight. It is time.
It is time. Yeah, shut it down.
And they all move into position under the big metal face. And the face opens and this big clock comes out.
Right, they get to chatter
Like
in.
the
and like,
pageantry of these
I know.
creatures.
Like, what, they built this shit?
Like, what do you need all this for? What does time mean to you?
Is this the city they built on rock and roll?
I did not hear any rock and roll happening in this city.
Maybe
so
that's
no.
what they think it is.
Maybe. That's
But yeah,
their
like there's a
interpretation.
lot of like it's like glass paneling and like bing bong and like what do they know what a clock is?
And why do they look like Hellraiser demons or something like?
Ooh, like Cenobites?
Yeah.
Cenobites? Delicious.
Cenobites.
I'm gonna get some.
I want some. Give me a warm Cenobite.
Oh, we got such snacks to show you.
And like when everybody falls asleep, how do all the vehicles magically come to a slow stop without crashing?
Because they're looning.
And how when everybody wakes up every single night like this in the middle of the street, do people not go, hey, isn't that weird that we just woke up in the middle of the street?
Right? Well, everyone just seems to go.
Yeah, they just
on
go with
what
it.
they're doing. Like the cars start again.
Yes.
It's all just how it go down in Dark City.
So everybody falls asleep, and I swear that hot dog stand was from The Crow. Did you see the hot dog stand?
I did.
Yeah.
And I thought the same thing. Perhaps it was.
And John's freaking out, trying to wake everybody up, but
Right,
like,
he's like, hello,
Yeah.
what the fuck? He's trying to wake people. He's yelling into the silent night.
and the tuning commences.
Yes, the big metal gear comes up
And there's like a big fake globe, which later you're like, why is it a globe? They're not
I don't
on
know
Earth.
what any of this shit is, Nicole. I don't know
Why
what they
is
want.
their mind machine a globe? They're not on a fucking globe.
Did they
It's
get
flat
that
Earth,
from
baby.
Right? That's what.
Why isn't
this
it a
what
flat Earth
thinks?
model?
Is this what they think?
Oh God, did they get it from this?
Oh,
Is that where the conspiracy comes from? Like
From
we're all
Dark
been
City.
abducted and like we're really on just a flat Earth?
I likelier believe that. I likelier believe that. I'm also ignorant.
And John's watching these fucking buildings pop up all over the
He's
city.
like, oh fuck, what the hell?
And did you notice that when they're all making their chattering sound, Mr. Book doesn't do that?
No, he doesn't.
The leader doesn't need to click his teeth together.
I guess not. He doesn't have any. But yeah, we do pan into his eye, and we see that pulsating
The little
mouth creature
little jellyfish man.
behind. Jellyfish. So now the strangers
You
and
see
the
him
doc,
setting up the city again.
right? They come out again and they're changing things around, and he's like the doc is like the human consultant.
Yeah, but like they're doing this with people all over the city. They've got
I
all these
know.
strangers dispatched to all these different places. They're
Right.
physically dragging people from one location to another, redressing them.
Well, not everybody though, because when they wake up,
Not
Bum's
everybody.
still-
Right.
Bumstead's
Some of
still
them are
Bumstead,
still-
and Emma's still Emma. So
Yes.
they're only doing. They're choosing certain people
like,
to like do experiments
So
on.
the doc is only doing some of the injections that
Yeah.
you see the strangers doing. So there's something he don't have to be there. He makes
that's
the
He's
potion,
making all of the things,
but they know how to
Well,
administer
he's
it.
also weird. Like he's
He's
probably
creepy.
a part of him that like because he's a scientist. The only thing he remembers is being a scientist.
He wants to see what happens
is
when
that
he does
he's
this.
just he might as well do some experiments while we're out here.
But yeah, I still think it's weird that they have to manually do anything when they can just like wish a hovel into a mansion. Like they just think
Well-
about this shitty house and it turns into a
Well, that's
mansion.
what
But
they
you had
need
to
the
walk
memories
in and
for.
dress these people in their fancy
Wow.
clothes.
That's true because
I
they
think
like
that's
to.
weird.
They want to.
So the lower middle class,
They're
people we
learning.
saw like arguing,
Right.
now they're rich.
in
And I
a-
don't get, the doctor makes this comment about the rich get richer. They weren't rich.
Yeah.
They were poor. They got rich.
I mean, I guess he's being
I don't know.
ironic.
And and then I have a note here because remember in Baron Munchausen when I'm like, this Moon City reminds me of something and I can't think of what it
was
is.
this?
It's fucking this.
Hilarious.
I was like, oh duh, when all
'Cause
these
of all the
buildings are
cities are
moving
moving,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, it's this.
I do like that.
And John confronts the doctor in the street, smacks him across the street with brainwaves.
Right, whap-a-pow with my mind.
He's like, ooh, you have their power.
Oh, wait, but first we gotta talk about that. The close up of that needle.
Oh,
Is
that it was like a yard long or whatever.
That's what is a yard for us? 3 feet.
Mm-hmm.
3 feet in a yard. I always think of
we
three
also use
gigantic-
yards.
I know. I think of what was it? Like a picture of 3 gigantic feet in like a front yard. I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just remember that it's 3 feet in a yard because I don't know, because it's something that they told
I
you a
saw
million
it somewhere,
times.
and now that's the only thing I can ever think of.
That's
is 3
funny.
large feet, like big feet, in a yard.
But yeah, that close up of the needle, they built a yard long needle
A yard long needle.
for that close up.
Right. Anyway, so John confronts the doctor. He knocks him down, and he's like, "Oh, you can do that thing."
You have their power. That's how they change the buildings. I can teach you to control it.
Right. But he's like, "Nope, we gotta get."
Well,
out
they're
of here."
coming, so he's out of there.
And like the doc goes full Velma, talking about, "I can't see without my glasses."
Jinkies.
And now, as Mr. Hand approaches, that the time starts again.
Mm-hmm.
And
Everybody wakes up.
and goes about their new or old business.
And they find the doctor, and he tells him John just attacked him, and he broke my glasses.
He broke my glasses.
And then you see like the inspector, and you see like a weird spiral in his coffee.
Ooh.
Which I guess that's something that is in the director's cut and not in the theatrical, because the director wanted these like weird things after the tuning to show that something happened. Like and that was the
Right,
spiral
like
was a
a
thing where like,
clue.
what the fuck just happened? Nothing happened that should be making my coffee spin right now. So anyway, and then Emma's singing in the
Interesting.
club again, and Bumstead's there watching. And this is where I was like, okay, she looks real uncomfortable as a nightclub singer.
Right.
And it never occurred to me until this watch through, because I don't know. I probably haven't watched this since I was in my 20s, maybe. I don't know. It's been a while. Maybe in my early 30s. it never really occurred to me that she has been this person for a matter of hours
or maybe days.
Days. So like she was not a nightclub singer.
Right,
we don't know
so-
what she was before she was Emma, but she hasn't been this for very long, and she's
Right.
not a nightclub singer.
So
I
it makes
think
sense that she would be uncomfortable.
so. Yeah, her body movements are like she's she's shy, but she's dressed like she's not. You know what I
Right.
mean? She's dressed for the part.
Right.
She's
she looks
singing,
the part.
but she looks the part. But her whole body language is like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, why am I doing this?
Why
I don't
am
want to be
I
doing this.
here?
Yes. So Mr. Book is back in instructing for the night's tuning, like
Right.
telling
He's
them
talking
what
about
to do.
the experiment, and he was like, we're gonna do some shit over here down on Avenue M. He's like, well, there is no Avenue M. We couldn't complete it because there was a disturbance, a lack of control.
Murdoch is much more powerful than we thought.
Becoming like us.
We have to become more like him.
The doc will implant Mr. Hand with John Murdoch's memories so he can find him, but remember what happened last time.
It didn't go well.
Poor Mr. Yes! We haven't forgotten.
And so they go ahead and fill up Mr. Hand's head with John's fake memories,
They fill it on up.
It took so many watches of this for me to really grasp, because I kept forgetting the whole, these are not John's memories.
Right. It's
And
like
so
looking
it's like,
at John's memories, but these
aren't
aren't
John's memories. Because you never see what are his real memories. So
Right.
that's all we know is the
Right.
Shell Beach John. So yeah, so they use that, and part of these memories is the killing of all of these women. So
yeah, those are part of it.
So that was supposed to have been him, but it was Mr. Hand. He gets a little visual of himself
and he
doing the
likes it.
killings, and he likes it.
Is it done?
Oh yes, I have John Murdoch in mind. Already with the dad jokes,
I
Mr.
know.
Hand.
Yeah. What did he get that from?
Right? From the memories.
Did the doc put it in there just to be a dick? He was
Right?
like, watch this.
Watch this. This is gonna be
No one got
hilarious.
it. He's the only one that thought it was funny.
They don't have senses of humor. So then John's trying to figure out who's KH. He's looking at
Right.
the Shell Beach postcard. Who sent me this postcard? Carl Harris. Oh, KH.
Yeah,
That's his
KH
suitcase I
and
have.
Company Fisheries, and he remembers the suitcase. He tears a page out of the phone book because
Oh, you mean the assassination coordinates?
right. He
Remember
tore
when we
out
used
the
to have-
assassination coordinates.
Remember when we used to just give everyone our assassination
It was in
coordinates
the
all
book.
the time?
in the book?
And now the hotel manager is the newsstand guy. And he says
Right,
he's worked
he's
there
like,
for 25 years. And he's
Don't
like,
you? Okay, that's weird.
And the strangers are just flying around the city being creepy. They
know
go
how they
find
do.
May, and she's like, I don't know him.
Right, and she doesn't know where he is, and John's on the subway.
Trying to get to Shell Beach.
He's looking at the green line. That's the last stop. He can't quite get there. It's the express. It's not the express.
And then the express does not stop. It just keeps on going.
He's like, well, why didn't it stop? He's like, well, that one's the express.
And Walensky's down there, and he's like, you can't get out.
Right, I've tried. There's no way out.
And you're the one they're looking for.
Right.
He knows. And he tells him he also woke up while they were changing things.
Yes, and that he was a cop, at least in this life, and they steal memories and move us around. And yeah, he says that one of us, that sometimes we wake up and then they come for you. He's like, I figured out a way out, though. And jumps right in front of the subway train.
Yeah. So back at the Murdoch's house, the strangers are looking through all their stuff. And when now Mr. Hand's calling him we. He refers to them as we now.
As we. Well, I feel like they all said we. Like
I didn't notice it until he got the memories
I
implanted.
felt like they were saying we, like the
Yeah, no,
the
but now
others were
he's
saying
calling,
we, but
he's including
saying-
John in the
yeah,
we now.
I think that's correct because they were using we because they are a we.
They're a hive mind.
They're
right.
a we. But yeah, so he goes to find Emma sitting on a bench by the water, and
He starts a conversation about memories not being your own and
Right.
the torment of this existence. Or no, she says that about her memory not being her own and the torment
Right.
of her existence. I
don't know, but he
One of them
says
says
something about like, but wouldn't it be awful if like nothing was your
yes.
own and everything was a hive mind? And she was like, well,
maybe
might
it would be a comfort.
yeah, if it
that's
was
all
like
you
a good
knew.
thing. And he's like, well, what if you discovered something better? And then he talks about a fairy.
That used to be there when he was a boy, lit up like a floating birthday cake.
She was like, my husband said that exact same thing to me right here.
Where is your husband?
I don't know.
And so he leaves.
And he was like, I met my wife here. Mm-hmm. She's like, okay.
All right, weird.
All right. So now John has found Avenue C and Neptune's kingdom.
Yes. And this
Emma
is where
goes to see May
yes.
and finds her all carved up.
Oh yeah, because
front of
Mr.
the mirror.
Hand took care of her.
Right. He was like, leave me. And Bumstead's there.
Yeah,
like,
he's been
already.
following her.
Carl.
John
or
makes it to Uncle
back
Carl's.
at Neptune's talks to Uncle Carl, and they talk about how he was brought up at Shell Beach. But Carl also
Doesn't remember how to get
doesn't
there.
know how to get there. And
He tells him his parents died when their house burned down and that the uncle looked after him.
right, he sees that doodle book. And then he's like, wait a minute, what's that?
Oh, he's looking at photos.
Right.
And there's a big old scar on his arm, on John's arm.
And
as
he's
a
like,
kid.
what's that? He's like, you burned your arm in the fire, but he doesn't have a scar.
Nope, he shows him his arm.
These
and
are
there's
all
no
lies!
scar. Yep. And Bumstead asks, he's back with Emma. And she says her husband told her that he was there. Oh, why he was at May's.
Right.
Because her husband went there to see what he was capable of. Which,
Right, to
stop,
see if
girl. Shh. Stop talking to the cops.
I know. She's just
Don't tell them your husband came to
just
see her to
letting
see
it
if
all
he would
out
kill her,
there
and
like
now she
it's
dead.
No big deal. Never talk to the cops on this planet
or any
or
other.
any planet.
And she hears some scribbling sounds, and she finds the little girl
Right.
under the bed.
Oh shit! So she's like hugging on her, like, oh, she saw what happened here.
And she has a drawing.
Oh, and
Of
on the
the
drawing,
strangers killing
stabbing
her
at
mom.
So
And
now
that weird conversation about the accordion.
right? Bumstead takes Emma home again.
Uh-huh.
And she notices the accordion in the back of the car. And he's like, it was a gift from my mother. She died recently. He can't remember when he got it, when she gave it to him. Like, what was the occasion? Because it's like his most prized possession.
Yes.
And he's like, why? How could I forget something like that?
And he asks her if she thinks about the past much. And
Right.
she's like, what is happening?
And
He goes,
meanwhile,
I don't know if I know anymore.
Right. John is at Carl's and he's like, is that clock right? He's like, is that AM or PM?
Right. And he's like, wait, but it's been dark. Like, I've been up for
Like,
hours.
how did I
and
miss
it's
the
never
day?
been the day.
Right.
And the uncle's just like, oh, okay. And in this part,
He's like,
I
"You're
thought the
tired."
uncle was like on the strangers. I remember thinking like the
I thought
uncle
that
was
the
in on it
uncle-
too.
Yeah, I did too. But I guess he was just because
He was
he's
just
gonna-
trying to, because he thought he was having a psychotic break or whatever.
Right. He was going to call Emma. So
He's looking through his childhood things, finds that scrapbook from the beach, but it's just blank
it's
pages.
blank- yeah, and he's like, Emma comes home to the phone ringing. It's Carl saying he's here. He's acting weird. John catches him on the phone, and Mr. Hand is outside of the window hearing Emma and Bumstead, and he's like, "What?
We're already 55 minutes in, and
Oh,
I've
we gotta
got
do another one."
pages. I've
I
got
do
like
too.
3 pages of notes left.
That second bit went by fast.
It did.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't
before
know.
We
Well,
go
let's-
visit Uncle Carl. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we were already at Carl. So
You know what? Yeah, we might have to because there's still kind of a lot.
and then
after
we've got yearbook signings at the end too. So
we might have to.
man, you guys are gonna be
Wow.
another double breaker. We did one
What
last
this
week,
is-
right?
Yes, we did.
Ooh.
You all getting a lot on the shortest month of the year.
You're gonna get the longest episodes of the year in the shortest month of the year. So we will be right back.
Okay,
And we're back.
we're back again.
And the phone rings at Emma's house.
Right, and
Uncle
it's-
Carl's like, he's here. He's acting strange.
a
And
little
she's
weird.
like, keep him there. Mm-hmm. And John hears him on the phone and is like, Psh,
Oh, I'm
Uncle
outta
Carl.
And Mr. Hand hears him outside the window. Uncle Carl, yes.
He remembers.
And now they all head over to Carl's.
John sees him coming for him, and they make the stairs get long.
Oh,
as he tries
yeah,
it's like
it's
every
like-
nightmare.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
he gets to the roof, and all the buildings are changing again. And he starts jumping across
Mm-hmm.
because these are only 3-foot jumps because these fucking buildings are so close
I
together.
know. There's only small gaps.
And Mr.
And these are the ones, I assume, these are the rooftops that they used in The Matrix.
Probably.
Or the set pieces or whatever. that
Yeah,
they
I don't
used.
think I looked up specifically.
These were good
which ones
running
they were.
rooftops. That's what they were made for.
They sure were.
So
Mr. Hand pops up in front of him and tries to slash him.
Oh, but no. And John confronts him. He wants to know, like, what the fuck, dude? What's happening here?
He straddles him, holds a knife to his head, and Hand tells him that they fashioned the city on stolen memories.
They built this city on stolen memories, not rock and roll.
City
on stolen memories.
Yes. And they do it to learn what makes you human so we can be like you.
Because we need to be like you.
We use your dead as vessels.
We use your dead.
And like, do they actually say why they need to be like us?
I think that the doc says at some point, like, they're dying.
Oh, right.
They're all dying,
and they think
and
that
they
having
need
the
to-
soul will
That
revamp
if they
their...
can figure out that they could join with, well, because all they need is just one person. Because later on, they're like, well, we don't need the rest.
Right. They can
Everybody
get rid of
else,
everybody
like
else.
all they need to do is just join everybody, that whole hive mind with his
with one person who's got a soul, apparently.
Right.
But like, that doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I mean, none of this does. I don't think it really happened.
I have some questions about whether this is based on a real story.
I have a couple questions about the validity of this story.
And so he gets away. He falls as the roof's growing, and he grabs onto a fire escape.
Oh, right. And then like the building comes closer, and
It's
he
about
gets
to crush him.
squished. And then here comes this kid with the little fucking dagger, and like John opens the door to nothing, and he's hanging there, and like the little Mr.
He fucking
Sleepwalker
bites his knuckles.
Oh no!
And he grabs another rising chimney and escapes.
Escapes on a passing chimney.
And time restarts, and Emma and the inspector are back on their way.
Right, like John's still escaping.
But now
Hand.
Mr. Hand's got him cornered.
Right, they're converging on Neptune's kingdom, and Bumstead slides in like,
Woo!
get in!
Just in the neck.
Right, he's like, too fast, too furious.
And he sees the strangers from the drawing, like, oh shit,
Right, like,
they're real.
oh, I seen it. And they narrowly escape Mr. Hand. And this is like Mr. Hand, like,
I keep thinking
Fast
of
Times.
Fast
I
Times.
know.
I know.
He's gonna eat our
And it's
pizza.
even a bald old man,
Right.
who's grumpy.
Weird.
Totally goes
That's
together.
why they called him that. I have no way of knowing that's true,
No.
but it is.
And so the inspector is now, he's taking John back and he's showing him the pictures of these bodies. and
Right. He's interrogating him, and he doesn't know what the fuck. And
now his Shell Beach scrapbook is full of drawings
he's
that
like, what
weren't
the
in
fuck
it
is
before.
this now?
And he's like, look, I'm trying to make sense of this. And John's like, well, I can't
am
help
too.
you.
I don't know. Right. Like, I'm not playing.
By the way, you heard of Shell Beach?
Right. And he's like, yeah, I've heard of it. And again,
Tell me how to get there.
Bumstead can't do it. He doesn't know.
When's the last time you remember doing something during the day?
Like, not like a memory, a past memory or something, like yesterday. Or last week or something. And he's like, I don't think the sun even exists here.
Nope.
So now they're doing something to all of us. And now Bumstead's like, shut
I
the
don't
fuck
wanna
up.
hear it.
Nope. Zip.
John makes the scrapbook float with his mind.
Oh, what's this then, huh?
Explain this.
I don't know.
Sucker.
Sucker. How do you... Womp, 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 womp.
Use your rational thinking on this.
He's got the free on womp womps.
And they arrest him for, I guess, and I
doing
don't,
the
that
thing
part
with his
I don't get
mind?
either. Like, come on,
Because
Bumstead.
they're just gonna hold him there until he
maybe
can
it's
go
to keep
play
him
his accordion.
safe from the strangers.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
because he lets him out. Oop,
Yeah.
Oop, we're not there yet.
Well, yeah.
Anyhow.
she comes to see him, and they do that little
through the
hand
glass.
to the glass.
She apologizes for hurting him. And he's like, no, I don't think you did anything.
I don't think that happened. I don't even think we're married or that
you're
we've
supposed
ever met
to
before.
remember this, but none of it happened. None of it's real. And he's like, I think the first time we met was the other day.
Well, but you can't fake
I love you.
something like love. No,
I remember meeting you
you
vividly.
can't.
Oh, and he's like, womp, 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 smash.
And he spoons the glass.
There is no spoon.
Shatters everywhere. And they have
they
a
kiss.
romantic
Oh.
kiss. And later, next scene, Bumstead's informed of
Later,
Walensky's
next
suicide. We
week,
don't know when
I
it
don't
is.
know. I don't know how many times we've puned.
And Bumstead's informed of Walensky's suicide and that the
he's
chief
like,
wants to see him.
By the way, the chief wants to see you. Your buddy's dead.
And your shoes are untied.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, loser. Nothing is coming up Millhouse today.
His cuffs and his ankles are wet.
And the strangers come and put everyone to sleep.
Yep.
And they go to the chief, but Bumstead has already let John out.
Right? He just not gone to see the chief like he's supposed to.
Mr. Hand is pissed.
He said, what?
He said, do not order a pizza to my classroom. What? And they go,
Do not waste our time.
the doctor is back at the public pool.
Yep, taking a swim.
John finds him there.
Yep.
And he explains that he hangs out here because they have an aversion to water, which again, it never explains. They're fucking jellyfish in there. Why do they have an aversion to water?
Do they not? Oh no, the water made them grow in the faculty. It got bigger in the water.
And it never shows the water do anything to them. It just says they have an aversion to it. It doesn't say it hurts them or they can't tolerate it. It's just they have an aversion to it.
You could call it a phobia.
They're a dry people.
They're a dry. They're a dry people.
They're a dry species.
Okay.
They don't like wet.
But then why? Why does they look?
They're like Ben
why
Shapiro's
does they look
wife.
Wet then, Nicole, explain that.
It's a Ben Shapiro's wife of a species.
Dry. Paper dry.
Like the Sahara.
Like the Sahara. Just like watching fucking Chris Sarandon and Amanda Bears get down dry.
Don't let Liana hear you.
Dry. She knows.
She was not dry.
She was not, but I was.
Yes. So was I.
And so was Amanda Bears.
Yes, she sure was. She is a great actress because
sure is.
she sure fooled me.
No, she wasn't fooling anybody.
Well, no, I mean, like she played it that she really was into that,
that she
fucking
liked
dance
it.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
that's what I'm saying.
She wasn't delivering the sex. Nobody
No,
was.
no.
Nobody wanted it. I didn't want it. Anyhow.
So he wants to know. John wants to know who they are and what do they want from him. Well, you're the subject of their experiment.
Yeah, and
We
he's
all
like,
are.
But I don't have time for that, so I'm going to pull a gun on you.
Oh, well, I have everything you need to know in this syringe. You just need to inject yourself.
Well, okay. Like, you're going to pull a gun on me, fine. But all he has to do is, like, he's going to get winded trying to pull the trigger. Like,
Right?
He can't pull the hammer back.
I know.
Without taking a break.
And so he swears this is all the answers you've been looking for. And
Yeah,
he's like, I'm just going to hold on to this.
You got to put this in your head.
But we're just going to go to Shell Beach instead.
Yeah, that's where we're going to go.
So Bumstead helps him find the truth.
Yes, he just wants to know the truth.
And the doctor's like, there's nothing at the end of this map. I'm
yeah.
not going there. I've been there. I'm
I
not
don't
taking
wanna
you.
go there.
And they're like, yeah, I'm going to tune your fucking head, bitch.
Yep. Where there used to be a bridge here, but not now. So they get a boat.
Yep. And the doc tries to run off, but John tackles him.
Tries to run.
He wasn't going to get
Daniel.
far.
Daniel.
Daniel the doctor. I'm like, who's Daniel? Damn, Daniel. Where are you going?
Daniel Schreber.
Where are you going? You can't
Dr.
run.
Daniel Schreber.
You're leg disabled. Where were you going?
They're disabled.
Leg disabled.
I'm leg disabled.
And so he gets tackled. Now he's more disabled. And
He's even more disabled than
before. Emma comes home to find the apartment empty, but the stranger's there.
Oh, we'll have more pretty things for you, Anna.
Oh, yeah, now she's going to be Anna
Yep.
soon. But he has another use for her first.
Right? First, we got to go down to Dark City.
And the doctor's explaining to John and the inspector that first there was darkness.
Right.
Then came the strangers. They abducted us and brought us here. This city and everyone in it is their experiment.
So if there was darkness before they got there, that's weird.
Like,
Or that's all. Oh, I don't know.
I don't.
Whatever. It sounds good. It's Dark City.
Okay.
Good. We agree.
Yes. And they mix and match memories, trying to divine what makes us human and to find out if they're more than the mere sum of their memories.
This is where he says their race is on the brink of extinction.
Okay. And he says, you've had dozens of lives before. You just woke up during this one.
Right. Just so happens.
And that it's our souls that make us different. They share one group mind and memory, and their race is on the brink of
Right.
extinction.
And somehow you've developed the ability to
Fune.
Oh!
Nice.
Jinx.
The machines under the surface allow them to focus their telepathic energies. And they block the sun because they're sensitive to light. So, like,
Right.
they're
That's why it's
responsible gremlins.
Dark City. Right.
They purposely keep the water and light away on their own. Nobody has to do
this
that for
would have
them.
been a great place for Mogwais.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They
That's
could have
the
been
that's the
pets.
ones they should have abducted and taken to
No
Dark
water,
City.
no sun. They'll be good to go.
Yeah, they'd be happy as hell.
And he explains to him that he was never a boy in this place. All of it's a fabrication.
Right.
But he doesn't remember where they came from.
He's like, we don't know where we're from. Nobody remembers that. And now they're there. There's nothing. They've come to the very end of the line.
And they open the door.
And it's
a wall painted with the Shell Beach billboard.
Right. And there's nothing beyond the city.
But
nothing at all.
There's conveniently some sledgehammers nearby.
Yeah, that's good because we're going to smash.
And they sure do. And they smash straight into open space.
Oh, it's fucking space. Whoops.
We didn't know this was a space movie.
It turns
Nobody
out
informed us. Right?
Hey, guys, we're still in space. We
Aliens.
did some space, and now we're back in space again.
Oh, yeah. We're doing a lot of space
We like
lately.
to be in space.
We do. Even though we are never going to space.
No, I'm never going. This is as close to space as I'm ever going.
That's why we like these movies.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why.
We're not going to space.
Space scares me.
And the strangers arrive and tell him, now you know the truth.
Right. There's a struggle, and like Bumstead and a stranger fly out of the hole.
And then that's the end of Bumstead. He's just
like
frozen
through
in
a
space.
barrier, and like as he's flipping through space, he goes up and over, and he can see
the whole city.
The whole city, and it's like a giant spacecraft on top of a machine.
In like a force field.
Right. And that, yeah, like he passes through the thing. And off he goes.
And he dead.
Oh, yeah. He
That's the end of it. He had a very unceremonious death. He's just
a very
like float
quiet
out
death
into
for
space.
a very
and,
intense man.
Yes.
Isn't he? Is he not? He's really dead, isn't he?
William Hurt?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Or
I think
just-
everybody over
no.
70 is dead, so I have no idea.
Or just John Hurt's dead.
Just John
I
Hurt's
think
dead.
William Hurt's dead.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. He's a really good actor.
And Mr. Hand's like, I know you still care about your wife, even though you don't know her.
Right.
And so he's got her hostage, and he makes him let the sleep spell work on
Right.
him.
He was like, surrender. You must sleep now. Oh, he is dead?
Oh, William Hurt is dead? Oh, just died last year.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
bummer.
that's a shame.
Bumsteader.
Oh, that's a real Bumstead. The disrespect.
Sorry.
Oh,
he was an
he?
asshole?
Oh,
okay, never
then
mind.
that's not-
What a
maybe it's not
Bumstead.
such a big Bumstead
Maybe
at all.
not a Bumstead at all. Well,
Oh,
we
okay.
don't know. So
He was still a pretty good actor.
he was. And so they bring Murdoch to their underground place and they put him on the wheel.
I put
me on the
I want you to put me on the wheel, bitch. I put that shit in these fucking notes.
You don't want Snakey.
You know I want Snakey.
Oh, you don't want Snakey.
Oh, bring me the hose.
You guys know that reference? If you know that reference, send us a message.
We seen him.
We saw him live.
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
This is so good. Okay. So put him on the wheel. And the doctor was right. He has evolved. Mr. Sleep's like, kill him. And they all start chanting.
Kill him. Everyone starts to holler. Mr. Book thinks that they can learn from him. They found what they want.
He can lead us to what we seek. The soul. Time to move into a final phase.
So now they bring the doc in on this little dolly.
Like they made him a little dolly, like a
"You
wheel
have to-
dolly. That was so
gotta be on
weird.
the little thing.
That was a strange contraption.
It was like
yes.
the cone of shame, but like
It was like they gave Hannibal Lecter free reign. Like, okay, you
Right?
can walk
It's like,
around,
okay.
but you got to be in the Hannibal Lecter
get
cage.
a little bit of movement, but not a lot.
And so they give him his syringe, and they've got him out in his rolling cage. And Mr. Book says, "Shut it down."
Shut it down forever.
And the doc approaches and tells John, "Look, they want to imprint you with their collective memories to make them one of you, or
wanna
make you one of
share
them
your
and share your
soul.
soul." But
He's
I'm
got
gonna
that
give you
other
something
one.
else.
I got a little something
Got a little
else.
something in
My
my coat pocket.
little switcheroo.
So he gives him the shot in the brain, and these memories, it's still the Shell Beach memories, but this time it's full of the doctor.
The doc is in there telling him what he needs to know.
And like Mr. Miyagiing his tuning.
He's
He's tuning through puberty. He's tuning. And he teaches him to use his mind power.
right.
And John sits up,
You got to do it now.
and the wheel just melts off of him. And he throws them all back with his mind.
He's like, I'm gonna Viewing these motherfuckers.
He breaks the Doc out of his rolling cage.
But Mr. Book is also pretty powerful, and they have a balloon off.
Yes, they do. They get in a ballooning war.
Fucking shit up, and
The
they're
floor's
like
opening up. Strangers flying everywhere.
They got shit busting up. They float and fly up above. Dark
Spikes
City.
coming out of the floor. Everything.
Chow. There's like lightning and shit.
Yeah, energy balls going. Everything's crumbling, and this energy
Fucking
ball
crazy.
explodes.
Yeah.
And strangers just go
get
flying.
sucked up into there. Shit's crazy. And now they're like continuing to fight. And Mr.
John
Book,
flies up. Mr. Book, they're like facing off in the air in the sky.
And he's like, whoosh, whoosh,
Throws his dagger. John
and then,
stops it with his mind.
and like flips it around and like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
Right into Book's throat.
right in his neck.
And the way he spins all around
and it was like,
in there.
oh!
Crashes into that water tower thing, which I assume is full of memory juices because they don't
I
like
thought
water.
It was water.
But they don't like water, so I was thinking
Well,
maybe
that's
that's
where they kept
the
it?
memory tank. Like, because the memories were all liquid.
Oh, that's true too.
But I don't
why
know.
would they have it in a big old
I
mixing
don't
bowl?
know, man. You
I
wouldn't want to
felt like
mix them
that
all
was
together.
the water, and
That's
maybe that because he went through it.
because there
and maybe
has to be
that's what
water for
killed-
humans to live. There had to have been water
Well, that's why
at
they
some
had
point.
it because like they're aversion to it, but they had to have it around because humans need it to live.
And so then the creature that Book is crawls out and dies.
Is it because he got fucked up, or is it because he got like put in the water tank?
I don't know.
Because maybe he got like all irritated because he got wet.
Maybe because it never says they can't get wet.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's always after midnight there, though. Oh, at midnight is when they do their thing.
Oh, it's so a Gremlins
shit.
movie.
It is.
Another Gremlins connection. Midnight, water, no sun.
Interesting.
So John comes back down and talks to the doctor, and he tells him he controls their machines now, and that Emma is not Emma anymore.
Right. She's like, that's what he wants to be like, take me to my wife.
And he's
no,
like, nah.
She's not her
And
anymore. She's
can't-
been re-imprinted.
We can't give her memories. The facility is destroyed.
Right. So you can change whatever you want, though, now. So get to wishing.
Yeah, it's like never-ending story now.
Wow,
He
we're just
wishes
bringing
the
it all
world
back.
together. And so he restarts the machine, gets the water flowing out the sides of this big city
Right. It
ship,
like, fills in the ocean. And he like,
blinks a big beach into existence and a
Right.
dock.
yes, he's like making it's like a pier with a lighthouse. And that is where Mr. Hand has been waiting for him. He's dying. Mm-hmm. Oh, before that, though, like, what's it? Emma wakes up in a box office.
Yeah, she works at the movies.
And she takes the bus and she
Uncle
sees
Carl
Carl
gives
and, like,
her
they
a
don't know each
seat.
other.
Yep.
The doc is watching with his one eye. Mm-hmm. And this is when he goes down, makes the pier at the lighthouse, sees Mr. Han. The imprint doesn't agree with them.
And he
but
tells him,
wanted to know
yeah,
what it was like
to be
feel.
human. Yeah, and you're looking in the wrong place.
Right. You found it. It's not in the mind. It's looking in the wrong place. And then he makes the sunrise.
Yeah,
for,
he
like,
turns the
first
whole city to the
time.
sun, which, like, the speed at which he turned this city to the sun.
What?
I'm gonna say, like, was there not some sort of huge weird thing happening to the people
Well,
on the
it had
surface
a-
during that time?
I don't know what it.
Like, I feel like there's at least an earthquake, and he just filled it with water. Is there not going to be fucking waves coming up? You just
Tsunami!
flipped it upside down,
Right? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it was a gravitas thing.
So he opens the door, and somehow
It's bright as fuck.
Lil Miss Emma Anna
Doing the same.
has already
scene,
found the pier that didn't exist in the memory
a
she was
moment ago.
implanted with.
but that seems like the place to go.
But, like, how'd she know it was there?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me either.
But this is the same shot from. Oh fuck! What's that movie called? Fuck!
I don't know.
Jared Leto.
Requiem for a Dream.
That's the one.
Oh, there's
And-
3 movies, I
and
guess.
House of Sand and Fog.
Patrick from Vintage Video
And
said this
this.
is part of a 3-movie set
There's
where
3
she
of them that
her
she does
final
the
scenes on a
same-
dock. Yeah.
But this one, that's the only other one I've seen. I haven't seen House of Sand and Fog, I don't think.
I haven't either.
But anyhow, he goes down to the end of the pier to meet her for the first time.
And he asks her about Shell Beach, and she's like, I think that's it right over
It's
there.
right over there, but I'm headed there now.
You want to join me?
And so he does.
And he keeps the name John Murdoch because he doesn't.
Why not?
Why
And
not?
Her
That's
name
the
is
name he
Anna, by
knows.
the way, and he's John. John Murdoch.
Yes.
And off they go.
The
So
end.
now, do you think she's already like she already knows him?
And see, and I wonder that too, if maybe at some point they originally did know each other, but how would they know? Because they've been through a dozen lives. So like maybe they were a couple.
They keep finding each other.
And I would really love to know the backstory to where they got these people from.
Right.
And this whole
prequel to
process.
the
And,
Dark City, where the strangers came from and why they took people.
I would love that.
Not from Earth, though. That'd be weird if they came from somewhere else.
Right? Where else would you get humans from if not from Earth? I'm not sure.
I don't know. They got to be sprinkled around the galaxy.
But yes, we love this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you should go watch it. Liana. Can't believe you haven't seen Dark City. So good. So we have an Apple review from Jeff Johnson 26. Rock me, Doom Gen. From comedy classics like Weekend at Bernie's to Oscar fare like Amadeus, you can count on the Damsels of Doom to provide excellent commentary, witty banter, and plenty of laughs. Tessa and Nicole are the cool clique you want to sit with at lunch and talk movies with. Like them, follow them, subscribe to them. To not do so means being left out on one of the coolest podcasts out there.
Well, thanks.
Dang, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay.
And we have a voicemail.
All
Let me see
right.
if we can get it to play where you guys can hear it. Hold on just a second.
Doom Gen Pod. Tessa, Nicole, and maybe Kim, and maybe whoever else. Just want to shout out and let you guys know that I listen to you almost every week. I'm slightly older than you guys, and I'm kind of surprised sometimes at the stuff that I never heard of. Like, I mean, I heard of Monster Squad, but it just wasn't a thing up here in Seattle. And Freeway, didn't know anything about it. So appreciate you guys getting me caught up on stuff that I probably should know about. Did I say who this is? Don't worry about it. Bye.
So to the stranger from Seattle.
Secret in Seattle.
Yes. Thank you for your anonymous voicemail. And if you want to leave a voicemail,
You can.
702-720-DOOM or 702-720-3666. You can leave it as yourself. You can leave it anonymously. You can leave it as a character. You can ask a question. You can be mean. You can be nice. We don't care.
We don't
Funny,
care.
boring. Doesn't matter. We will play it on the show. And I think that is it this week. But we've gone plenty of time.
I think that is it.
I know.
this
I'm like,
week.
we're not running short. So you got plenty.
You want more? You're going to have to wait until next time.
And until then,
later,
Doomers.